This is a yoga tutorial for total beginners. It means you've never done yoga, or maybe you've done a little bit of yoga but you want to make sure that your postures are done correctly and safely, and you want to learn how to modify them, or you are a yoga instructor looking for tutorials for your classes. I'm Noko Marble. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe by clicking the bottom right corner of the screen and like this video. Today we're doing seated postures. You'll need a pillow and a strap, a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's fine. Use a belt or anything that can be used as a yoga strap. So a belt, a towel, maybe a scarf, anything that's long. The first posture we're going to do is the lotus. This is a position that can be uncomfortable for a lot of people, especially if you don't have the range of motion in the low back. Ideally, you want your shoulders over your hips, and I see that. Okay, so what you want to do, one thing is sit on a pillow, because the elevation gives you more space for your knees, so it's easier on your hips and it's going to help you lengthen the low back. We want to maintain the neutral alignment of the spine as much as possible, keeping the ears stacked over the shoulders, shoulders stacked over the hips. If you're still struggling here, place your fingertips into your mat here and push forward. Your legs can be as close to you as you want to, or as far to you as you want. So the lotus really helps. So let's sit up here in a lotus, find your modification, and this position really helps stretch the hips, lengthen and stretch the low back. It's a posture that's also used for meditation. Let's switch leg to make sure that we are even on both sides. And you'll probably notice there's a difference from one leg to the other. Maybe with one leg you feel tighter, one side you feel tighter, you may have to elevate your hips a bit more, or you feel more flexible. Let's move on to the next position. That's the head to knee. We extend one leg. Other leg, you want your foot flat on the floor. Can be next to your knee, can be higher, wherever your comfort zone is. And a lot of time I see people placing their foot underneath the knee. So just next to your knee, a little bit higher. And for all those seated positions, okay, this is what we see here. See how my shoulders fall behind my hips. So hands on the mat, pushing forward. If I want to maintain here, I can sit on a pillow. Of course, the higher the pillow, the easier it is, the more comfortable it is. So this elevation makes it easier for me to maintain the alignment in my spine. Now this may still be uncomfortable because we're stretching the hamstring here, the back part of the thigh, stretching the low back. So another modification is to keep your knee slightly bent. If you feel any discomfort in your low back, bend your knee a little bit. And then we use our strap or our belt or whatever we have underneath the foot to extend our reach. And this is one mistake that I see. We lean into the belt. Okay, so if I drop the belt, if I open my fingers, I would fall back. This is not the point. The point is to help you bring the shoulders stacked over your hips, trying to lengthen the spine. Okay, so we lift up towards the sky. And from here, some of us may feel a deep stretch right here. That's where we hold it. If we want to go deeper, another mistake I see is we try to bring the forehead to the thigh. We do this. So watch what happens in my back. I'm not maintaining a good posture in my back. I'm rounding my back, compressing my vertebrae. So I keep pulling. Okay, and when I pull on the strap, I want to avoid having the arms right here. I extend my elbows, try to reach further out. I pull, I bring my shoulder blades back, and then imagine that you want to bring your chin and your chest towards your foot instead of your forehead down. Lift and inhale. As we exhale, your body relaxes a little bit. This one you can go forward. See how my elbows bend? So I grab the strap a bit closer to the foot. Think of bringing your belly button towards the floor. And this is where we have to let go of our ego, because we look at other people and want to go as far as they go. So we round the back and we think we're doing the right thing. Okay, instead, squeeze your shoulder blades a little bit, push the chest forward, reach forward the chin. So instead of having your head all the way back here, it goes further forward. Okay, and eventually some of you may be able to grab the foot, or maybe even interlace the fingers, or maybe we can even place a block and grab the block. To go even further. Okay, but the goal is to find where you are today, and that's where you're supposed to be, and hold the position. So once I find my limit, I know that if I go further, I'm gonna pull a muscle. So I hold it here, and I find a deep, slow breath. Big breath in through the nose, and out. As you exhale, feel free to go a bit deeper into your stretch. Big breath in, we lengthen the spine. Big breath out, we relax into the position. Couple more breaths on your own here. And very slowly walking the hands back up. Shaking our legs. Working on the other side, with or without your pillow. So we bend the leg. So make sure you switch leg. Extend your other leg out. Remember your foot, okay, can be next to your knee, can be higher. Those of you who are very flexible can have your foot in the crease here of your thigh. And making sure the heel is aligned with the hips. Avoid having your chest or your shoulders between both knees here, looking sideways. Okay, you want your belly button aligned with your front foot. And from here, we use the strap. Oops. Remember, your elbows are extended. Okay, we don't want to be here. It's not comfortable on the back. So we extend here. Option to slightly bend your knee. And inhaling, we want to lengthen the spine. And maybe we'll hold it right here. Maybe feeling the stretch here. Or next exhale, we can go a bit deeper. Reaching chest, chin forward. Inhaling. Exhaling, reaching far. Think about lengthening your spine. Another trick here. I used to really lengthen, and I would lengthen the low back. So this is how sometimes you strain your low back, or after the exercise you're like, oh, I feel it here. So what you want to do as you lengthen your spine, imagine that you're pulling your leg into the socket. Okay, so you bring your leg in a little bit more, and you use the strap here. Inhale, exhale, pulling the leg in as you push the chest forward. So you feel more the stretch in your hamstring and less in your low back. Hold it a few more breaths here. Slowing down the breath. And I invite you to close your eyes. This helps really feel the position. Keep pulling this foot in. Let's open our eyes, slowly coming back up, releasing, shaking our legs. And just before going to the next pose, we're going to stretch our back because it's a lot on the back when we sit down for a long time. Cat and cow, inhaling cow, exhaling cat. Again, inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Let's go into a child pose. And you can really feel the stretch in your low back. Couple breaths here. All right. Looking at the staff pose, it's a difficult position for most people for the back because both legs are extended. So again, we're rounding the back. So what do? Use the hands to push. Use a pillow under the hips to elevate the hips. Okay, right here I can still push. If I'm right here, I press into the mat, put my shoulders stacked over the hips. And I can also bend the knees a little bit. Especially if you feel it in your low back, bend your knees. Okay? Or do your head to knees easy on your low back. And we do the same thing. And here, okay, you may hold it here and feel the stretch. And that's fine. So I'm not going through the full stretch here because we just did a lot. I'm going to show you the last position is the seated straddle. So seated straddle, we sit up, legs apart. And same thing again, okay? I can place a pillow under my hips. So all those seated poses, same thing. You can place a pillow under your hips, you can bend your knees a little bit, right here. And maybe your legs are right here, that's fine. And as we reach forward, some of us may hold the hands back. If you're able to hold your hands comfortably out, then you're good to go. Okay, you can place your hands forward. Otherwise, keep them here. Because what's going to happen if you don't do this when we reach forward, okay, if you're here and you need your hands, when we go forward, you're going to do this. We don't want this. So just hold it right here. So if your hands are right here, you can hold it with no problem. You can place them in front of you. You can start walking your hands, reaching far forward. Again, think about bringing your belly button towards the floor, not your head down. Okay, belly button towards the floor, chest across the opposite wall. So let's reach forward, and only as far as you're comfortable. You go to the point where you feel a tension that's uncomfortable. If it's comfortable, you're not working on going deep into your stretch. Okay, this stretch, the straddle, stretches all the inner thighs, so you may feel it right here. You may feel it in your hips or in your low back. So that's an awesome stretch. And you can place your elbows, if you go a bit deeper, you can have your elbows on the block. You can have your elbows on the floor. Maybe you have your forehead on the block. And remember, you can use different sides of the block. If you don't have a block, it can be pillows, okay? Or you hold it right here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so today we covered the seated position, the basic seated positions. We want to maintain the alignment of the spine. That's the most important thing. There's no point in trying to go deeper if you don't maintain this alignment. Elevate the hips, bend the knees, and reach far with your spine. Next step is to use those positions, review the ones before, and to do a flow. So a flow means we go from one pose to the next without holding them for like 3 minutes. Okay, so it's a sequence of positions, and that's a great way to practice what you just learned today. So this is the next video. From my heart to yours, with love, namaste.